All right, Corey Naylor, it's kind of a funny name. Is Miami the best place for Orlando Brown Jr.? Yes, and I think it's actually probably one of the most realistic as well. So he wants to be paid like a left tackle, okay? So some people are like, what do you mean? They already have a left tackle. You're right. But what happens if they put him at right tackle and paid him like a left tackle to protect to his blind side? I actually also think that the Ravens would be looking for a first-round pick. And Miami, they have 2, so give up pick number 18 for Orlando Brown Jr., tell him to protect to his blind side. I actually think makes a whole lot of sense. All right, we got Kyle Bayless. Where does Kyle Van Noy end up? It's a good question here. So if you guys are watching this, excuse me, Kyle Van Noy was technically been notified that he's not going to go back to the Miami Dolphins. He hasn't quite been released yet, and we're filming this on Wednesday, but Miami right now is going to try to move on from him either in a trade or just release him. He had 69 tackles last year. There's a lot of different options that he could end up going to. Some of the teams that I think do make a lot of sense for a player like Van Noy, I think the New York Giants make some sense. I think the Denver Broncos make some sense. The New England Patriots, off the top of my head. But there's definitely going to be a lot of teams buying for Kyle Van Noy. There's no doubt about that. All right, Jane Doe, thoughts on Miami drafting Azeez Ojulari at 18. I don't know if he's there at 36. So this is another player that I think his draft stock continues to rise and rise. He's an outside linebacker, edge rusher from Georgia. I think he's a phenomenal prospect. If you really want to go out and get Azeez, yes, you need to go ahead and take him at 18 because I'm with you. I actually don't think he's going to be around at pick 36 because you're looking at a young player who is really good at getting after the quarterback. Still can probably fill out in his body a little bit more. He had 8.5 sacks last year in a very, very weird year, but this could be one of those players where if he does fall to round 2, we go back and we look at 2-3 years from now being like, wow, I can't believe Azeez got out of round 1. So what do you guys think here? This is definitely one of those players where I think when mock drafts first started to happen and the whole NFL draft conversation started to happen, we saw Azeez go in round 2 a lot. And more often now I'm starting to see him go in round 1. So where do you guys think he's going to be drafted? Type 1 for the first round or type 2 for the second? All right, Eyeless, can't pronounce your last name. Who's the best wide receiver in the draft in your opinion? Waddle, Chase, or Smith? Also, what do you think the Dolphins will do with the 3rd pick? Okay, so my wide receiver rankings are actually it kind of actually depends. If you're a Dolphins fan, it's actually going to be Chase, it's going to be Smith, Chase, Waddle. Actually, my overall rankings, I'm actually going to go with somebody like Jamar Chase, then Devonta Smith, then Jalen Waddle. And then who do I think the Dolphins will pick with their 3rd pick? They could definitely go the wide receiver route. There's no doubt about that. For Miami, though, you got pick 3, 18, and 36. I think a player like Kadarius Toney could be an interesting option there. If you're looking for an awesome deal, look no further. NFL shirts under $18.74. If you got a favorite team, which I imagine y'all do, go to chatsports.com/NFL shirts because they just released these new shirts, and they like to call them their X-ray shirts. I think they're super dope. They come in sizes from small all the way up to 4XL. And in fact, Bronco shirts are even cheaper than $18.74. And if you're a Buccaneers fan, I've even seen $14.99. I mean, if you need an NFL shirt, usually they're $25, I believe, but they are on sale right now. They come in all different colors, all different sizes as well. Chatsports.com/NFL shirts. If you want to spam in the chat who your favorite NFL team is, please go do it. I definitely would appreciate that. One more time, chatsports.com/NFL shirts, where you can get these X-ray shirts under $18.74. But hurry, because I do know for some NFL teams they are going quick, so don't be the fan that misses out on this awesome deal.
From Jamie, would 18 and 36 be enough to get to number 10 for Miami? So let me do some quick math here on the old trade value chart. Let's see here. You're moving up to that's 2nd round pick. I think that gets you about in the right area. It might still be a little bit on the, frankly, the higher end. I think 36 and 18 can get you to 10. You could even maybe find a way to pull off 18 and 50. That might be possible. But if you're a team like Denver or Dallas and you're down to move down, getting an extra top 40 pick is a lot. So frankly, Jamie, I think it actually might be too much to get to number 10. I think that definitely works. But it's the trade market. It's always weird every single year. From Leroy Paul, should the Dolphins draft Rashod Bateman if they don't go receiver at number 3? So I ran a 4.3940. So general note here. Any of the times that you see coming out, even from pro days, I strongly recommend adding 0.1 seconds if you want to get closer to the normal combine numbers. Historically speaking, the change from a combine to a pro day is about 0.1 seconds on the 40-yard dash. And it's very weird that Exos, the training facility, all of the 40-yard dash times are super fast, lasered, allegedly, and the hand times are exactly 0.02 less. Kind of weird. No video, right? He's not slow. That's the takeaway from that 40-yard dash time. Bateman was better in 2019 because it was a more just consistent year. I don't love him at number 18. I would feel better if Miami went receiver at 3 or even traded down and then took one at like 8 or something. But I do think Bateman makes some sense if you're looking for someone in the back to middle end of round 1. He's a good football player. Frankly, I think the argument will be over who goes off the board as wide receiver 4. Kadarius Toney or Rashod Bateman. Both got the strengths, both got the weaknesses. Two pretty different football players overall. So who would you pick? Type RB for Rashod Bateman, or you can type in KT for Kadarius Toney instead. So get your votes in there. RB for Bateman, or type in KT for Toney. Not really a wrong answer. Some off-field stuff for Toney. Some consistency play this year for Rashod Bateman. Timothy Mullen, I know it's early. Who are the top prospects in next year's draft class? All I want to know is Sam Howell. I haven't done very much. The guy I love, though, I promise you right now, AO's got 2 great receivers. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, because I watched plenty of Olave in prep for this year. Kayvon Thibodeau, the edge rusher from Oregon. This year's class, not great. Next year, though, he's going to be really good. And by the way, if you have draft questions on this year's class for now, because I'm already behind enough as it is, hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney, and we'll do plenty of draft stuff here going forward. From Akash, what other defensive lineman ranking 1 through 5 should teams be interested in? Are you talking draft? Christian Barmore's number 1. After that, it's not great. You could maybe go Levi Onwuzurike from Washington. Davion Nixon from Iowa. There's the 2 USC guys. Some of those players. It's honestly not a great defensive line draft class. From Botch, which receivers are a round 1 lock and which are likely to go round 1? Thinking Chase, Smith, Waddle, Bateman are guaranteed. Moore, Toney, and Marshall possibly. I think your guaranteed locks are Chase, Smith, and Waddle for sure. I say at least one of Bateman or Toney go in round 1. And I'd say if you can pick one to be a guarantee, sure. I think Rondale Moore, Terrace Marshall, those are probably your other possible round 1 guys. Like I don't think Amon-Ra St. Brown goes in round 1. Frankly, I'd put the over-under of round 1 receivers probably right at 4.
All right, we got a Cash. What up, my man? What do you think are going to be the top 3 40-yard dashes and predict times? Let me just say this here. If you have any, 40 times, if there's no NFL Combine, you're going to see times that you just never seen before because pro days are not the same as the NFL draft. So, honestly, I'm not going to believe any 40-yard dash times. I'm just going to be honest with you. Let's go with Elijah here. What is it free agent time? So, when is it? So, March 17th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time is the start of free agency. Tampering period starts 48 hours before then. So, it's basically when coaches can start to reach out to players.